Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we have a very colourful looking puzzle today. It's called Defrag by Mormagli. And apparently this is wonderful. Only 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty. Lots of you have recommended this, including 1 or 2 people whose recommendations we take very, very seriously. So we're going to have a look at this in a moment or two's time. It's basically very simple rules. These are all little Renban lines and some black dots in the grid as well. But what can I tell you about before we kick off and do some Sudoku solving? Some exciting news. I downloaded a game called Islands of Insight, and I sort of ran around in it for about 5 minutes, and I didn't get too ill. So I'm going to risk on Tuesday night. We're going to be streaming Islands of Insight. Here it is. Which is so, up the channel street. I cannot tell you. Apparently, there's like 10,000 puzzles hidden in this game, which looks a bit like The Witness when I loaded it. So I'm really hopeful that I'll be able to manage to sort of stream it for a couple of hours in one go without feeling too awful. So yeah, I'm excited about that. 10 o'clock UK time. Would love to have your company if you're around. What else? Over on Patreon, we've got this month's monthly reward, which is a competition, negative constraint themed Sudoku hunt. I think only about 20 of you so far have managed to solve all of the puzzles in it, so they might be slightly tricky. Don't forget, if you do get stuck, there is a Patreon only channel on the fan Discord server, which is the home of some very erudite people who are very giving in their hints and things like that. So don't get stuck for too long. You'll always be able to find some help. And also, oh yeah, now my crossword video got delayed slightly because I didn't realise when the competition closed for the Sunday Times competition puzzle last weekend. I thought it was Friday night. Actually, it's basically Saturday night at midnight. So at midnight tonight, as the clock ticks over, that video will be available. As will very soon Reading Geometry, my solve of Emre Kalotoglu's puzzles. There's loads going on Patreon. Thank you so much to all of you who support us there. You keep the channel going, literally. And we are hugely grateful for that. What else have I got to tell you about? Let's do some birthdays. I'll start with, is it Aya? I hope I'm saying that right. It could be Aya, but I think it's Aya has turned 31. And I know this because your partner, Ivan, wrote to us and told us that you watch every night before sleeping. Presumably that's because my voice is so soporific it has that effect. I'm guessing that's it. But I hope you have a very happy birthday today, with chocolate cake, of course. Next, we'll go over to Canada to a place called Kamloops. What an intriguing name. Where Deddy, it's your birthday, and I know this because your friend Denise wrote to us and said it was your birthday, and apparently the two of you have just been to watch the Rugby Sevens in Vancouver, and I was even sent a picture of the two of you dressed up in, I want to say Where's Wally outfits, because that's what we call it in the UK, but I think is it Waldo is the US equivalent or the Canadian equivalent. So I have the idea of 2 people dressed like this sitting in a crowd and having to be spotted. Yeah, well, anyway, Deddy, many happy returns today, and I think I would like your sense of humour. And then finally, Deb, it's your birthday today, and I know this because your son Jamie just got in before I started recording this video. To tell us that you're off to visit him today for your birthday in Nashville with your best friend Michelle, and that your love of Sudoku, Deb, apparently is even greater than Jamie's, or might be. The two of you definitely seem to be keen Sudokuists. So Deb, I hope you have a great time with Jamie today, and Michelle obviously, and I hope you get some chocolate cake, some Nashville chocolate cake. Is Nashville famous for chocolate cake? I know it's famous for music, but it might be famous for chocolate cake. And someone who's famous for flying past my window is Maverick, and Maverick is about to do that again. Well done, Maverick. Anyway, let's turn our attention to doing some Sudoku. Let's have a look at the rules of Defrag by Mormagli. who's featured on the channel, I want to say 3 times before, but not for at least a year. So Mormagli, welcome back. And the rules of your puzzle are as follows. Normal Sudoku rules apply. So the digits 1 to 9 need to appear in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box once each. Each purple line contains a set of non-repeating consecutive digits. These digits can appear in any order. So if this square was a 1, this line would have to contain 1, 2, and 3, so that the digits on the line were all consecutive, and they could be in any order. So something like that would work. And then there's only one more rule. Cells separated by a black dot contain digits where one digit is double the value of the other. That's a slightly different wording to the normal black dot rule. I actually almost prefer that wording though, because I worry that people will get put off by the words ratio, which we often use. So basically one of these digits is double the other. So if that's 2, that square there's got to be either 4 or 1, because 4 is double 2 and 2 is double 1. And that's how black dots work. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now there is an awful lot. I imagine here we've got to do maths somehow, because we're going to have some way of disambiguating these lines. I mean, they're all 3 cells long. They're all 3 cell sequences. So what we're probably going to need to use is the rule that says that any 3-cell Remban line contains digits that if you sum those digits, you'll get a number that's divisible by 3. And the way you can realize that is, let's look at this line. Let's imagine the digit with the middle value on this line is called x. Well, then we know that the other digits on that line are going to have a value of x minus 1 and x plus 1. So the sum of all 3 digits on the line is 3 times x. And 3x is obviously going to be divisible by 3. Now, the first thing I'm seeing all over the place is that these 3 digits there, well, yes, I'm eliding over a small point there, which is a secret that I only share with my very favourite people. Of course, if you're still watching, you're definitely one of my favourite people. The secret as it's relevant today, is that any box of Sudoku contains, if you add up the digits in here, you'll get a number that's divisible by 3. But the long version of the secret is that because of the rules of Sudoku, this box will contain the digits 1 to 9 once each. And if you sum the digits 1 to 9, you get 45. And then 45 is obviously divisible by 3. So if I know that line is divisible by 3, and if I know that line is divisible by 3, then those 3 digits must also be divisible by 3 to ensure that the whole box overall is divisible by 3. So that means these 3 digits are divisible by 3, because if these are divisible by 3 and those 6 cells together are divisible by 3, then these are divisible by 3. Black dots actually are divisible by 3. And the way to understand that is because one of the values is double the other, call one of these cells y, and the other one then could be described as 2y, so call the lower one y. Then the dot overall will sum to 3y, won't it? Also divisible by 3. So, right, okay, so I have now... Yeah, that's lovely. Right, so here is a little idea then. What is the value of this square? And the answer is I don't know. I don't know exactly, but I do know something about that digit, because all of these little 3-cell sequences... Oh, my phone's buzzing at me. Okay, that's not something I can deal with now. All of those squares together are obviously divisible by 3 because of the rule we've just mentioned. Those 2 squares are also divisible by 3. So this great big panoply, this prairie plain that we've drawn, this Serengeti of the corner of the grid, is divisible by 3. But we know that because any box is divisible by 3, any 3 boxes obviously will also be divisible by 3. So that cell needs to be divisible by 3. Exactly divisible by 3. So that square is 3, 6 or 9. Well, it's not 9, because you can't put 9 on a black dot, because if you do try and do that, then this square would have to be 4.5 or 18, which are not Sudoku digits. So this is actually a 3-6 black dot, which is very pretty, isn't it? Now, well, yeah, okay. And again, this digit is now under some pressure. I don't think that can be 3. Because although mathematically it can be 3 in terms of sort of divisibility, now we've got a real problem filling the rest of the box, because we know that a 3-cell Renban line contains 3 consecutive digits. So where on earth are we going to put 1 and 2 in box 2? And the answer is we can't now put 1 and 2 on a 3-cell Renban, because if you put 1 or 2 on a 3-cell Renban, to contain consecutive digits, you will need a 3. And we can't have a second 3 in box 2. So this would be a 1-2 pair. But now, by what we've just said, both of these need to have a 3. Both of these little 3-cell triominoes need to have a 3 on them. And that's going to put a 3 there and a 3 there and break Sudoku. That's very pretty. So this square's a 6. That's our first digit. 6, 3. Now one of these is 7, 8, 9. Oh, well, okay, no, let's not do that. I don't know how to do that. But I can do something here. Because, again, we've discovered, haven't we, that if we put 1 or 2 on a 3-cell purple line, we have to put 3 on it. So I can't put 1 or 2 on these lines. So this is a 1-2 pair in box 5, which is very pretty. Now there's a 3 on this line. So there's a 3 on one of those. Okay, there's a 3 on one of these. That's less good, because just because you let's put a 3 there, for example. If this was a 3, we don't know this is 1 and 2, because we can go the other way, can't we? We can go with 4 and 5. No, I was about to say something that's utterly asinine, and I don't like saying asinine things, so I'm not saying it. 6 is on one of those. 6 again. I just doubt that this puzzle will be about middly digits, like 6s, because knowing I've got a 6 on one of these lines, it tells me almost nothing. Because 6 can go either way. Right, one of these lines is 7, 8, 9. So I can see that if this is 7, 8 or 9, then these are 7, 8 and 9. Oh. No, well, okay. Okay, this is not 7, 8 or 9. It's a bit complicated. It's a bit more complicated to see why. So imagine this was 7, 8 or 9. I don't think we need to have recourse to the rest of the columns. I was noticing the first thing, the way my brain worked here was it said if that is 7, 8 or 9, because I know one of these 3-cell sequences is also 7, 8 and 9 in box 5, then this must be a 7, 8, 9 triple in column 6, because it's the only place 7, 8 and 9 can go. But I think it's much easier than that. If we just hypothesize this is 7, 8 and 9, where are we putting 1 and 2 now in this box? Well, by Sudoku, they've got to go in some of these squares, but they can't. We certainly can't put 1 or 2 here, because we know this line will have a 3 on it, and that 3 is impossible. So again, we're going to have to put 1 and 2 there, and again, we're going to have 2 3s on these droopy bits. So that's not going to work. So actually, the 7, 8, 9 triple, which must exist in this box. I mean, maybe that's maybe I should just deal with. I sort of glibly said, didn't I, that one of these is 7, 8 or 9. I hope that was clear. It's because if you try and pick two 3-cell sequences from numbers that are just below 6, you've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to choose from, so you can never have two 3-cell sequences. So to me, I can see one of these must be 7, 8, or 9. Now we've proved it's this one. So that means that 4 and 5 in this column are down at the bottom. Again, they're too middly, I suspect, to be useful. What does that mean? Well, one of these digits is now 5, because if I put 5 on this Renban, I know it will be 5, 4, 3 now, because it can't include a 6. And if it's 5, 4, 3, these will be a 1, 2, and that is the pattern we're desperately trying to avoid. So one of these is 5. Which is potentially of interest, is it? Oh, I don't know. It probably is of interest. So these squares, okay, well, this is a 3-cell sequence selected from the digits 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's definitely got 2 and 3 on it. So these squares are from 1, 4, and 5, I suppose, by that logic. Now, if these were 4 and 5, is that going to break this column? Maybe. I don't know, actually. It feels a bit less... Well, it's certainly less constrained than if these are 1 and 2, because we know with 1 and 2 we must have 3 on the line. But with 4 and 5, if you had a 4 and you went downwards, you could use 2 and 3, and if you had a 5 and you went upwards, you could use 6 and 7. So there's no necessity that there would be a repeat if these are 4 and 5. Wow, okay, so... Okay, where's 9 in box 1? 9 can't go on a black dot. 9 can't now go on these Renbans, because the maximum we can get to is 7, actually, isn't it? If one of these is 5 and we go upwards, we get to 7. So 9 is in one of those squares. Now, if it's here, if it's on this one, we're going to get a 7, 8, 9 triple. And if it's here... Okay, it's not here. This puzzle is really clever, actually. It's weird. It's weird, but it's got a lovely flow, right? If that's 9, the question then that I think is immediately begged is, where do I put 9 in box 4? And the answer is nowhere. It can't go here because this line doesn't work. It can't go on its own Renban line, so that means it's going to be on one of these, and that means this is going to be, well, one of these will be 7, 8, 9. But if this is 9, this is a 7, 8 pair. So that can't possibly be right, can it? So actually, that's quite interesting. That means we get a 9 on this one, which means this is 9. Right, now I've got a 7, 8, 9 pair in row 2. And one of these is a 6. Oh, is that telling me something? Oh, I think that... I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay. Okay. All right, so now, okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going with extreme digits. I shouldn't focus on 6s because I don't understand them. 6s are naughty digits, but I do sort of understand 1s and 9s. Where is 1 in this box? Now remember the little thing that we've learned, which is that if you put 1 on any of these purple lines, it must have a 3 on it. So that can't be 1, because there'd be a 3 down here. This can't be 1, because there'd be a 3 here. In fact, it wouldn't work at all, because this can only be 4 or 5, and it couldn't form a sequence. You can't put 1 on this line, because it can't form a sequence. So I think 1 has to go here with a 2. And that means this square is not a 1. Does it mean that has to be... If that was a 1, This would have to be a 3 and this would have to be a 2. Six. Where is 6 in box 1? It's on that line. So that line is going up. Well, it's going at least upwards a little bit. If this was 4, there has to be a 5 here. If this is 5, it could be 4 or 7. So, sorry, I think I might actually pencil mark all of this and just stare at it for a moment. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now these are not 6. I can't put 3 on this top line because it's got 6 on it, and 3, 4, 5 and 6 they require 4-digit rem bands, don't they? So this is a 4, 5, 6 triple. Okay. Oh, right, okay, yeah. So when I was thinking about 7, I should have realised there was a 7 here already. Oh, bobbins, I don't know what to do now. What could we do now? How does this line work? I have difficulty now thinking this is a 1. But I might be wrong. I might be wrong about that. The reason I think that's difficult is that I can see that's going to make that a 2, and I'm struggling to see now where I put 1 in this box. I think that's fair, isn't it? I don't think I can put 1 in this box. If that's 1, this is a 1, 2, 3 triple. That's not 2. The 2's up here, so this is 2. And now I have to put 1 in this box. Now I could have put 1 on this line, but if I put 1 on this line, I need a 2 on it somewhere, and I can't put a 2 on it. And if I put a 1 on any of those lines, they're a 1, 2, 3 triple, and that breaks. Right. So what we've now learned is that this square is, well, okay, so we get 2 middly digits here, and this was a 1, 2, 3 triple apparently. And if that's 4, 5, and that's 3, 4 or 5, and we can't put 6 into this square, I want to say that this is 4 or 5. Well, I was going to say 3, 4 or 5, but there's a 3 here. Yeah, because we can't. What we've worked out is this: we can't go down. We can't go 4, 3, 2. This simply cannot be a 2. And now it can't be a 6. It is from 3, 4 and 5. That's a 4, 5 pair on the line. That's 3, not in the corner. So that means, well, what does that mean? Okay, well, there is a 3 up here, and that's got to be on a different line to wherever the 6 is up there. I don't think that's quite. Well, there is also a 1 or a 2 up here. So the line that's got 3 on it has got at least 2 on it, possibly 1 or possibly 4. Oh, hang on. 4 and 5. Oh, no, it still doesn't tell. 7. Yeah, okay. Okay, so this digit might be important now, I think, because that's telling us that this little sextuplet of digits is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because that green digit by Sudoku must be one of these digits. So this green digit obviously doesn't go on the line that's got 3 on it, so it's going to go on the line that's got 6 on it. I'm sure this is telling me something, but I don't know. Oh, hang on. No, I'm going to do this totally differently. Where is... Right, look at this row again. I've got 1 digit here, which is a 1 or a 2. Where's the other digit that's 1 or 2 in this row? Well, where it's not here, because we know 1s and 2s go on lines with 3s on them, and I can't put a 3 on this line, so that's 1 or 2. And I bet that can't be 2. Because isn't that going to give me the same problem with 1 that we were going to have over here? If that's a 2, where can you put 1 in this box? Nowhere. So that's a 1. Isn't that weird? That's a 2. I really like this puzzle. I don't think it's monumentally tricky, but it's got some beautiful logic. It's got a little bit of maths to start you off, and then it's got beautiful logic. I mean, what more could you ask for? Right, so now we know, because there's a 2 up here, there's a 2, 3, 4 Renban, and because... Well, yeah, okay, in fact, look, these 2 digits are definitely high digits. I want to say these must be extreme high digits, because otherwise, how could this be, for example, 7 and 9? That would require an 8 up here, which would require a 7. That's impossible. If this is 7, 8, I've got to put a 9 up here. So these are extreme. This is a 9, 8 pair. That green is a 7. And these digits are 3, 4, 5. No, 2, 3, 4 and 5, 6, 7. And 2 is in this row by Sudoku. This square's a 7 by Sudoku, so we shouldn't neglect our Sudoku. Oh dear, I can't quite see how that works. I suspect I can do better, but if there's a 9 on this, there must be a 7 on it as well. Let's take advantage of small wins if they're available. Right, okay. There is... Right, I see it. Right, okay. Let's go back to box 4 now. Now, we can see that we can't put 9 on this 3-cell Renban because it's got 4 or 5 on it. So there is definitely a 9 in one of these 6 cells, and that's going to form a 987 Renban. So we can't put that here, because we're going to have too many digits in column 1 that are selected from only the digits 9, 8 and 7. So this must be the 789 Renban. And we know there's a 3 down here. Does that mean this has to be 1, 2, 3? I suspect so, yes. I mean, we can't put 1 or 2 on here. So this must be a 1, 2, 3 Renban. There's a 1, 2, 3 triple in the column, the 3 of which is in the bottom domino. So that is a 1 or a 2. These squares are 4, 5 and 6 by Sudoku. So the rest of this row is made up of 1s, 2s, 8s and 9s. It's slightly excessive pencil marking, but let's see if we can do anything with that. That's not 1. So if this was 8, 9, this would be 7. That looks maybe possible. If this was... Oh, this can't be 1, 2, because it would need a 3 on it. There we go. So this is a 7. This is 8, 9. Where does 1 go in the row? It's got to go here. That's got to be a 2. 1 is in one of these 3 squares. Oh, can't see how to do it. Never mind. What about that? Is that doing us any good? It's putting 7 in one of these 3 squares. This 7 is doing us some good. So that's 7. This becomes an 8, 9 pair. 8 and 9 in row 6 definitely can't go on a line that's got a 1 or a 2 on it. In fact, this can't be a 1 because that would be a 2, 3 pair. This has got to be a 2 and this has got to be a 3, 4 pair now. And this has got to be an 8, 9 pair, and that's got to be a 5, 6 pair. Look at that. We got a whole load of digits done. This is... Oh, this is a 1. Okay, that make... Oh, hang on. Hang on. Have I made a boo-boo here? Is Sudoku my friend or not? No, it's still my friend. It's still my friend. That's fine. I thought I was getting a pattern I couldn't resolve in these rows, but it still seems to work. Okay, so we need 4, 5, 8 and 9 down here. Which, I want to say this is probably going to be a 9 or an 8. But I don't think it has to be. Right, where's the... Oh, we've got a 1 here. I can do more Sudoku. 1 and 2 go in. 1. Now, can one of these be 1? Only if this is 3. That would be a 1, 2 pair. Well, that actually looks possible, doesn't it? Because look at this column. We've got very few Well, we haven't used too many low digits yet. We've got 1, 2, 8, and oh, whoopsie. 1, 2, 8, and 9 down here. But we can only have one of 8 or 9. So if we were to put 8 or 9 here, they would be an 8-9 pair, wouldn't they? Because they couldn't partner up with 1 or 2. So that will not work. Whoa. So we need to get rid of 8 and 9. This is the counterpart of this one. This is a 1-2 pair, which does go with 3. So that's a 3, that's a 1. Now, okay, and then we can use the trick that we've used repeatedly. If this was 8, we'd have to put 9 in one of these squares, and 9 would require a second 8 to make the Renban work. So that's 9, that's 8, that's 9, that's 9, that's 8. This is no longer 9. These Renbans are 3, 4, 5. Right, and the 3 has to go on this one. So this one is 3, 4, 5, and this one is 6, 7, 8. And we can get the 7 here, look. We don't get a 3 in the corner, I'm afraid, today. That 3 takes care of that possibility. This column, oh, we've got a 6 in it, I see. So we get a 4, 5 pair, a 3, 4, 5, 6 quadruple. Right, and now we have to, there's a 4, 5 pair here, so the 5 and 6 here is resolved. And look at column 5 now. We haven't put, yeah, this is good. We haven't put 1, 6 and 7 in. So this must be a 6, 7 pair. And this must be a 1 at the bottom of the grid. That doesn't resolve this. It does make this quite difficult to fill. That's now got to be 5 or 8, look. To be consecutive with 6 or 7. And this column hasn't had, I want to say 2, 8 and 9 in it. So these are from 2, 8 and 9. And that digit can't be 9. If this was 1, that would have to be 3. This 1, 3, 2, that might work. So this probably is 1. Okie dokie. What do we do now then? Where is that a good question? Don't know actually. I thought maybe I could get 7 in this box. It's in one of those two cells. And we know it's going to go with 6 and 5, don't we? So if it was here, this would be a 5, 6 pair. And if it was here, this would be a 5, 6 pair. Feels like one of those must not work. Is it something to do with the, if that's 7, this is 5 or 6. That would be 5 or 6. I'm not sure. I can't do that yet. So where should we go now for more? 3 is looking. 3 is definitely on. It's on a purple line in box 9. Yeah, but we've already thought that could be 3, 1, 2, haven't we? So I have to have a cleverer thought now. Come on, brain, have a clever thought. It's not. There's a 7 here. Have a Sudoku thought even. 7 and 6 go in. So, that's great. That is actually great, because now 7 has been locked onto this line. So it can't possibly have a 3 on it. That is 3. There is a 7 in one of these two. Now, do we know what that 7 goes with? It's quite hard for it to go with 9, but probably not impossible. 9 here, if this was a 7, 8, would resolve everything as well. I'm not sure. What about the 3? Oh, come on. This might... Oh, look, there's a 3 here. Okay, that's... I must have done almost all the 3. I have done. I've got all the 3s. And look, where's the last 3? Boom, there. That's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. And that means that's the 7. So this is a 5-6 pair. That's going to get me lots of digits now, because this must be a 1... No, it must be a 2-4 pair. So that's 2, that's 4. Now, has that done it? He says, hopefully. I have to put... Where is 7? Yeah, I've got 4 7s looking in box 9, so there is a 7 in the corner of the grid. These squares are from 5, 6, 8, and 9, and that square's not 6. And that square... might be able to be anything. Alright, let's try this column where we have got this 8, 9 pair lurking there. So is it 4, 5, and 6 to place? So that's 4 or 5 then. And that's 4, 5, or 6. It can't be 4, it would be too far away from 7. So there is a 5, 6 pair in this column, and that has to be a 4. And now this can't be a 1. This square has to be either 2 or 5. 2 or 5. If this is 5 or 6, this can't be... it could be 8. I'm wrong. It can't be 9. There's a 5 here as well. So this is 2. So this is 2. This is 1. And that's a 2 by Sudoku. And now I feel like Sudoku must get me home from here. Where? No, that's a bad question. This is an 8 or a 9, and it can't be a 9. So by Sudoku, that's 8. So that's 8, that's 9, that's 8, that's 9. Let's take 8 out of these. That means this is 5, 6, 7. So that's 9. That's 6 and 8. I didn't see that. It's probably been available for ages and everyone's been shouting at me. That's 5, that's 8, that's 9. This square here is 4. That's 4, that's 5, that's 5, that's 6, that's 6, that's 5. Nearly misclicked. Oh, okay, 9 and 8 can go in here. 9 and 8 can go in here. I need somehow this top bit to be resolved. Don't be left with a deadly pattern. Oh dear. Oh no, hang on, that looks good. So that's 4, that's 5, that's 6. That's 5. This becomes 4, 6, which must have a 5, 4, 5, 6, 6. Good grief, and it finishes. Wow. Wow, what a beautiful puzzle. That is a beautiful puzzle. Loved it. So many interesting little, rinky-dinks to the logic, just based around these 3-cell sequences. And maybe I'm a bit fortunate that I've done quite a few puzzles with 3-cell rem bands in before, so I'm immediately familiar with the sort of mod 3 tricks. But still, it was genuinely surprising. I love those 2 squares not being able to be 1s and 2s. Let's remove the green from that one. Yeah, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.